So today we are going to have two speakers. I'm Yu Kitamura, in charge of the agriculture solutions in Sony, and I'm going to introduce the Sony Smart Agriculture Solution, particularly new feature update for the 2020 crop season. And we welcome the guest speaker, who is Mr. Charlie Six from Syngenta. And he is going to talk about the drone imagery use case, using the Sony Smart Agriculture solution. Now, Charlie, maybe you are gonna maybe introduce yourself briefly.
So good afternoon. So yeah, my name is Charlie Siggs and I work for Syngenta. I'm Global Digital Agronomy Project Manager, focusing on the digital solutions that Syngenta are delivering to our customers.
Okay. So throughout the presentation, you have the participation panels, and you can if you have questions, you can send the questions. Then we are going to cover those questions at the end of these sessions. So let's start the first presentation. So the Sony is the electronics manufacturers, and then the one of our business is imaging related business. And we belong to this imaging divisions, and then we are making different types of all these imaging products and solutions, both for consumer usage and as well as the commercial industrial usage. The commercial industry usage is a little bit behind the scenes, so it's not really well known what type of the cameras and the imaging solution are used. But for example, the medical world, the body inspection cameras, so we are making these things and then to find this disease and things the inside of the body. And we are also making the cameras, for example, like factory automation, which check the quality of the products in the line of the factory. So those kind of the products we are making, as well as the consumer cameras. The core technology we have is this imaging technologies and analytics. So any type of the market which this imaging, this analytics can be applied to solve the customer challenge, we are always trying to provide a solution for this application. And one of the application we have encountered in recent years is this agriculture, the industry. This is the first time for Sony to get in the agriculture industry, but we see some demand or potential use for this imageries and analytics. So we decided to develop the products and solutions and provide it now since last April. And the first solution we are providing to the market is a drone-based remote sensing solutions using the Sony imagery technologies. Now, hearing these users' feedback of this drone remote sensings, we see the common the feedback, which is a long turnaround time of the data generation, limits the effectively timely actions. So this illustrates the typical drone remote sensing operations. So you fly the drone and you make the map, and you identify the problematic areas using this generated map. And when it's needed, then you go run through things at the site to identify the cause, and based on this the cause of the problem, you make action plans and implement the actions. And typically, this after the drone flight, generating the map takes a lot of times. That's what we really hear feedback. And then there are not easy tools available for the field quick assessment. And as a result, the timeliness of the action is lost. So what we developed is the solution to provide the decision making, to provide the capability of decision making in the field, leveraging quick action. So the three key features here is the first thing is a fast stitching. So this system works completely offline environment. Lot of the fields in you have a limited network coverage, so this works completely offline, no need internet. And both NDVI and RGB map can be generated within minutes. And we provide a dedicated field analytics tool for the quick assessment in the field. So this is the size of the impact is of the problem, or the how much deteriorate from the other areas. Those kind of the field quick assessment tool is provided by this solution. And now we are adding the new features for the next season, which is stand count, which I'm going to introduce later. And it's easy operation. So the NDVI and RGB map are the single goals, and the data is managed by browser-friendly structures. The product we provide is the multispectral cameras, which is supposed to be mounted on the drone, and the processing and analytics software, which is called Fast Field Analyzer. Now, considering the operation of the drones and analytics, the end-to-end workflow is supported in conjunction with our partner solution. So flight preparation operation, the process, our system is well integrated with the farm management services, called farm shots provided by Syngenta, and also the flight controlling planning software called Map Pilot, which is provided by Drones Made Easy. So before flight, you can import all these field boundaries things from the farm shots to the Map Pilot as a flight area, as well as the fast field analyzer for the analytics areas. So this all well integrated for the smooth operation. And after capturing the data, so fast field analyzer, quick fast stitch in the field, and this supports the in-field assessment. And then once you get back to the office, you can upload to the farm shots back for the archiving or the further analytics using their services. Now, the standard features, we have another webinars already in the archive, so you can see the demonstrations and things in the web archive. So I'm going to talk about the new features for the next season, which is stand count. So talking about the challenge of the stand count necessity is so we hear the replanting is a big job for this farm operations, and one of the most important the work. But it has a challenge such as strong time pressure due to the short window of replanting time. And then it's often the case that weather is not really easily, weather is not easy during this planting time. And the existing operation, this manual stand count, like a 17.5-inch rows manually counting. So you can do it 5 locations or up to 10 locations in the field, but that's not enough sampling points to represent the field. So you might end up with the whole field replanting based on this result. As a result, when you replant, the same amount of the times and the work is needed for the whole field replanting. And the challenge of the whole field replanting is always is a shortage of the labor. It's a busy time, as well as the machinery availability is limited. So the more efficient way required for counting the replanting operation. So the concept of the make it more efficient is a sectional replanting. So when you replant full field, it takes the same time of the planting. But if you can define the section of the field for the replanting, for example, in this case, the pictures on the right-hand side illustrates green, yellow, red, and you can change the threshold, what percentage of the greens or yellows and the red. But key point is the red area, for example, which is maybe the establishment rate is less than 80%, where you like to replant. The areas actually represent only the 8% of the whole field. So that means you can keep the green area just going to maximize the yield potential. And if you replant only this section of the red, then operation cost is reduction, can be reduced, which means that you can cover more field to replant. And also the seed cost for the replanting is reduced. So lots of the benefits to bring this sectional field replanting concept. Now, to achieve this sectional field replanting, you need a good coverage of these samplings of the fields. And if you have the increased number of the sampling fields, then it's always the challenge how you effectively count in a quick manner. Which is why we developed a solution for to support this sectional replanting. So this solution you fly the drones over the field, and you can cover roughly like one flight using the drone, very common drone such as a Phantom 4 or type of things. You can cover like 100 acres by one flight. And with this flight, you have numbers of the sampling points, and that data can be analyzed in the field in minutes without any internet connection. And this solution is available for both variables and then the uniform seeding rate. So that's the solution we bring. As I mentioned, if you have a lot of the sampling points, it's always a challenge to count it. But that point, the Sony unique AI-enabled automated counting helps to speed up the replant judgment. And then our solution supports the end-to-end workflow. So the counting is actually the first step. Second step, you like to calculate the establishment rate. Nowadays, some people use obviously the variable rate planting. So if the interest is the establishment rate, actual counting number versus variable planting rate target. So that calculation can be done throughout our softwares by importing the variable planting map into our software. So you can calculate the standard establishment rate. And then afterwards, you will define which part of the field you like to replant. Not only the establishment rate information, but also you consider your capacity of the machinery, and you can fine adjust which area to be replanted. So that whole workflow is supported by the fast field analyzer new version. And so this solution also not only counting but also the evaluate the quality of the planting. So you can actually detect like skips and doubles of the planting, and based on this skips and double rate, you can evaluate the planting performance. And then you can utilize this information for improving the planting methods or this maintenance based on the data. And this is not necessary to be planting, but we have another update for the next version, which is the enhancement of the side-by-side view. We already talked about this, so we can import this variable CD map to this software. So you can compare the variable CD map imported compared to the NDVIs or the soil maps and those kind of things, the side-by-side. Also, this supports the multiple events comparison. So if you have some application, for example, fertilizer or the pesticide, you can easily compare before and after the application side by side to evaluate the progress and efficacy of this application. So that's the new software version up. And so this solution is available with a different type of the drones. If you have existing like Phantom 4, which we heard very common and then have a lot of requests, you can upgrade this the existing Phantom 4 with our system. And the more professional drone is supported, and also this the VTOL type of the drones, which is virtual takeoff and landing, which has more coverage in by the one battery. So that's also available soon. The pricing of the solution is the camera is $3,500, and the software is starting from the $999 per year. Software subscription plan has different types of standard up to 8,000 acres. There is $999 US dollar per year, and the business version is up to 15,000 acres, the $1,999 US dollar per year. If you need a further custom the type of the license, we welcome your contact to propose back our custom license. And this is where to buy the solutions. So you go to our website and you can find the products, and then you can purchase the hardware from our certified system integrators who offers our system with the drones totally integrated for your kit. And the software, you can purchase it on the online Sony licensed web store. So that's the Sony presentation. And now I'm going to hand over to Charlie for his next presentation.
Thank you, Yu. So yes, I'm going to now cover the drone imagery use cases. So at Syngenta, we had over 100 of these units out last year, and we gathered a lot of information and experiences which I'm going to share. So just introduction about myself. So my name is Charlie Siggs, and I'm the Syngenta Global Digital Agronomy Project Manager, leading our collaboration that we have with Sony. And my work involves the implementation of the digital agronomy tools that we develop at Syngenta, which are enabling growers and agronomists to use the right product in the right place, in the right time, in the right way. and I'm based in our office in Research Triangle Park in North Carolina. Just to give an overview of Syngenta, so Syngenta is a crop protection and seeds company, and our goal is to help growers and advisors in controlling weeds, diseases, insects, and weather. And we provide those control through weeds, through our crop protection herbicide business, diseases through our genetics and fungicides, insects through our insecticide and traits portfolio, and weather through our abiotic stress management crop protection. And we also provide our traits, genetics, and also weather guarantees. To give an overview of the company, so we're one of the leading global suppliers in crop protection and seed products, with a turnover in 2018 of 13.5 billion. We have just under 28,000 employees spread across 90 countries, one of the broadest portfolios in the industry, and we have key R&D sites located in the US, Europe, and China. As part of our digital strategy, we have 3 core pillars. The first of those being farm management systems, where we supply in specific markets farm management software to enable growers and advisors to collect and analyze all of their farm data in one place, helping growers to have everything there together, do the analytics, and provide crop reports. We also have risk mitigation, where we provide weather guarantees in exchange for purchase of Syngenta products, CP or seeds. This is where if a customer purchases a CP product which qualifies for a guarantee, if in the event that there is a weather stress such as drought, they will get a certain percentage cash back on that product for that guarantee period. And the main area which I myself work on is in our digital agronomic value area, where we are developing tools to enable customers to use the right product in the right place, in the right time, in the right way. And part of this is through providing remote sensing through satellites, drones, and also on the ground scouting to collect that imagery. Our imagery ecosystem, we're looking to move forward where we can integrate different imagery providers into one place so that people have access to multiple sources of imagery to monitor their fields at high frequency, at the resolution they require to make the decisions and actions that are necessary for that field. And we also enable the connectivity of other data into that system to help with the management. One of those interactions we have in the US is through our LandDB FMS program. Our satellite remote sensing is available through our Farm Shots company, which Syngenta acquired in 2018. And they provide remote sensing through satellite imagery, and you're also able to view imagery from planes and also drones from Sony's system. Our goal is to provide growers and trusted advisors with a drone imaging system that enables them to stitch and analyze those images in field and fully integrates with our existing platforms such as Farm Shots to provide those users with one location for all of their remote sensing needs. So one location where you can look at satellite, planes, and Sony images together and do that analytics. And as you were saying, this enables you to see a whole field image at the edge of the field with no internet connection in minutes. And this is a real big benefit to the grower and the trusted advisor, for them both to be there at the side of the field and actually see what is going on in the whole part, rather than just seeing specific sections which you can see at eye level. And this enables a data-driven discussion. So the grower is able to see what the trusted advisor is recommending to treat and actually understand and make a decision based off data. really great benefit is the ability to demonstrate the efficacy of a product, such as a fungicide. And this system enables you to see that section of your fungicide and then demonstrate to a customer how well it's performing compared to other solutions. And when making a recommendation to a grower as well, going from a system traditionally where providing the grower just a recommendation based on what you've seen in the field, you actually have a full field set of data which you can then back up your recommendation and provide more information to convince the grower that it is the right decision. And all of this combines together that you can actually make a real-time decision rather than having to wait for data to come back that's being processed. You can actually make that decision there and then, critical timings, and not having to wait for any imagery or information to come back. And also being able to have a diversity of in-season imagery. One of the issues with satellites is the frequency that they fly over the field, and also the issues with cloud cover. And drone helps to manage that risk and have more options to actually go out there and get that full field image. And a key one has been the risk assessment in season, being able to map out areas where you have had hail damage, green snap, areas particularly this year where they were flooded with water, and measure that and provide that as part of your insurance claim. So accelerating the insurance claim process and making it more efficient. This is an example of the difference between satellite and drone imagery. And satellite enables you to identify which fields there are potential issues in and that you need to go and scout them. And the Sony camera system enables you to get high definition imagery, pinpoint where those issues are, what the size of them is, and in some cases, using the image, you will be able to identify what that issue is. And to give a comparison of how it compares to other solutions out there on the market, using the NDVI from Sony system will enable you to see the NDVI in 3 minutes. So no need to wait for an internet connection, go and find one. You have it there and then, and you can go out to those points and identify what the issue is. And this gives you a similar image as you would get from a cloud processing system, which can take a couple of hours to come back. So you're actually able to do that decision there and then in the field. And with the RGB, which is taking a bit longer due to that file size, you're getting a good quality image, which you can then go and make an actionable decision from without that need to upload it onto the cloud and then wait for it to come back. And you're getting similar quality to an orthomosaic stitched image. And then using the images for analytics, and the software is very intuitive, easy to use, and gives you a great way to look at what's going on in the fields. And one of the things you're able to do, particularly when you're later in the season, there's less differences between the vegetation, you can adjust the color map distribution so you can get more contrast to see those differences more effectively. And in particular with a fungicide, when you're trying to see the differences between the treatments late in the season, it gets quite difficult. This enables you to narrow those that width down and then see what, really see those differences, which you can see in this image here. And also you have that ability, you can adjust the color palette to a color palette. If this, the green and the orange and red doesn't suit yours, your view, you can change that to one that is more suited to yourself. And the key part that we've had positive feedback from this season has been the ability to click on a point and then see those individual RGB images from that point. And NDVI has been around for a long time now, and this really enables you to click on a point and then provides a customer an image which they can associate with an NDVI score. So it's starting to make the NDVI more relatable. You can also look at the multiple events over different dates. And so you can go and do multiple flights and then show to a customer across the season the efficacy of your product. So in the case of fungicide, you could see, okay, showing that compared to other products, I mean, how it's performing on multiple dates. And this is an example of the RGB image that you see there. And taking at 400 feet, you're able to zoom in down to 2 inches. And as I said before, this really gives you a great way to associate an NDVI score with that RGB. And in some cases, you're able to use this to identify specifically what is the problem. And for a trusted advisor, it's a great visual to be able to show to your growers, just like, okay, there's an issue in this part of the field, and this is what it is. Another great feature is the ability to draw regions of interest. Now, using the tool, you can draw a box around a specific area that you want to, and from that, you will get statistics of that area. And that will show you a breakdown of the percentage and the acres that are in the different NDVI scores. And when you want to demonstrate a product, this is particularly useful over time, because you're able to draw those boxes around those regions, and then as the season goes on, go and review and see, okay, the statistics of those boxes over the different periods. You can also use it for multiple treatments to create those boxes and statistics, and then you can do a statistic comparison across them all. And the same can be done for crop protection and also for seeds. This is really great software and system to enable you to compare products. In this case, we're looking at fungicides, and we have 2 Syngenta products, which are Trivapro and Miravis Neo, compared with generic and competitor products, and also with untreated. And using the color palette, you can really see that, okay, the differences, which in some cases won't be visible to the naked eye. And the great thing is that you're able to take your multiple flights in the season, and you can compare, in this case, how long each fungicide is keeping those strips that's in for greener across that time period. And being able to do that contrast when you get that lack of difference in there that's visible, you can really show that out and then show to your customer that difference. And this one's showing that in the case that you're able to filter out the NDVI scores, which are in this case the lower range ones, and the base map below is showing the RGB. And this one you can see it, like the RGB underneath, you're not really able to see like that much difference in the health score of them. But when you actually look at, just leave like the higher NDVI scores on there, you're able to see, okay, the products which have got the best stay green ability on there are really showing up with the NDVI. And this provides a really good way to visualize and to show people, and you can do this live in the software. And we ran through and then created, and then with those boxes where we drew regions of interest and created the statistics. And you're able then to show, okay, the different products and what NDVI scores they are, what the percentage is in those regions, and what the acres are. And being able to provide customers with data to show the efficacy of your product and why you're recommending that product to them. And this was a case where we had trials with 50 hybrids with these plots, and able to draw around the boundaries of those plots and then get an NDVI score for them. So you're able to do it with genetics. And in this case, we took the different breeders, hybrids, and then combined them together to generate what the score was. But this is a great tool for demonstrating different hybrids and then their health and their suitability for that field throughout the season. A key use case this year has been for doing claims, and in this one the case was for green snap, where previous ways of working would be to go out and assess the field by eye. What this enables to do is to get an image of the whole field and then actually measure the exact areas where the green snap has occurred. And in this case, so it just makes much more efficient actual data to provide to the insurance provider, and it's accelerating that process of measuring and then receiving the claim. And also, this can be used for instances such as spray drift. This was a case where spray had drifted from one crop across to a neighboring farmer's crop, and it was being claimed that there was 30 acres that had been impacted. And what this enabled to do was to accurately measure the actual area, and was turned out to be 6.7 acres. This is providing you with a fast and accurate way to measure that damaged area, and the correct claim is being done. And this is just making a faster, more accurate process. And in farm shots, we have an algorithm which enables users to identify areas where the ground is underwater. This was very well used in the Midwest this year with the high amount of rainfall, and enabled customers to identify fields that were very saturated with water, and then plan in terms of, okay, am I actually going to be able to plant in that crop or not? And these images from the Sony system can be uploaded into farm shots, and this algorithm can be applied to those images. And as Syngenta, we analyzed throughout the growing season and identified that with drones that, in a lot of cases, there's been flights are randomized and opportunistic. And we looked at when are the optimum times to fly a drone and get those images, and what can they provide in terms of a decision and an action. And the key one that we started off with was stand count and that ability to do a replant. So going early up to V2, getting that stand count in, and then being able to make a data-driven decision about which areas of the field to replant or not. The second one being to evaluate the field for nitrogen side dressing and also any potential early diseases. And then the third one looking at disease severity and yield correlation, and also the risk assessments there, looking if there any weather damage at all, is there any spray drift damage, and finally harvest prioritization. So which fields are going to be ready to harvest first, how uniform is the maturity of the field, and then also that risk assessment part looking at green snap, lodging, any other weather damage that you may have. And we have been flying at these times, collecting up data to help build the algorithms that in the future we hope to deliver available through this system and using imagery. And so in 2020, so we offer a integrated end-to-end imaging platform system. So you can use satellite imagery via farm shots and then upload imagery from Sony system directly onto there. And that imagery can all be archived in farm shots, and you can go back and you can review satellite and that drone imagery. You can also easily share that information with stakeholders. Farm Shots enables you to do reports, and Sony system also does that as well. You can also use those images to create prescription maps and enabling agronomic advice. And we're also providing training on how to use imagery effectively and customer support. And service offering targeted ag retailers, crop consultants, and seed dealers. So that's a summary of my presentation. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll hand over to you.
Okay, Charlie, thank you very much for the very interesting presentation. So now we have the questions. So we are going to have this question and answer session. And so some of them the Sony should answer. Some of them maybe Charlie you can answer them. So starting from the first questions is so what height are you flying at to capture stand count data? What growth stage is needed to fly the field in order for the AI tool to identify the plants? So so this one, we are finally what is the fine tuning the final adjustment for our product. But the flight needs to be the lower than the normal general scouting purposes flight. So we are estimating maybe 60 feet around those the altitude flight drones. After this final evaluation and adjustment, we will provide a recommendation of the flight plannings and things. And the growth stage wise, so it's going to be like the V2, or a little bit maybe before the V2, V3 stage. It depends on the altitude as well. So where our target is at the V2 stage, whether a little bit earlier than that. We understand the earlier the better to replant this quickly. So we are trying our best to evaluate that even earlier stage, like VE. And so next question is, so will recording be available for attendees later? Yes, the recording to be available later. Next question, what is the GSD for the fast process dual camera image? So this GSD is, so if you fly at 400 feet, then RGB is the 1.94 inch per pixel, and the NDVI is a 4.64 inch per pixel. And just a moment. Okay. So I believe I saw the Sony UMC R10C in early slides. Where can more information on the sensor be found or academic institutions? Okay, I'll get back to you separately. I'll contact you for these matters. And their crop groups, the stand count app will not work on. So the stand count, basically the principle is that if it's where the plant is separately planted in a row, then it should work in principle. But we tested heavily on the corns and soys and things to start. So if you have any specific crop you are interested in testing, then we like to understand, and then we can follow up your questions in offline. So I contact you. do you have any data on cotton and wheat ground? Yes, so cottons, we are evaluating the cottons. So yes, the cotton is one of the crops we are interested in. The customer is asking for. So that's definitely. And wheat, we haven't tested that much yet. That's at this stage. And was the pricing shared only for Sony software and system use, or does this include the use of the Syngenta functions tool as well? So this part, I think the pricing I share is only this the Sony part. And then as the mentioned, this the 2020 season joint offering is going to be provided. So if you're interested in, then please contact us. Then we follow up the conversation. And what crops can you do stand counts on? So basically it works with the any crops which are planted in rows and separately from one to another. So that's basic principle. What overlap should be for plant counting? So the plant counting flight, this is more for like sampling flight. So we could do this overlap flight, but we generally recommend the sampling flight, which doesn't have any overlap. So like the soil samplings, you covers you have the tens of the hundreds of these sampling point in the field, which is located in one to another, but it doesn't have the overlap. That's our recommendation. And another question is, does plant counting use additionally NDVI map? So this one is so we developed this utilize all this the imagery information to count things. So that's the Sony unique algorithm now being developed to provide accurate the counting information. Can the software be used to take stand count in cotton crops? So this is so same things. So if it's the planted in rows and then the planted separated from another, then that is working. Yeah. And coming back to some other questions, maybe the Charlie, you can answer that. So the first question is, fungicide was sprayed in soybean or corn?
Yes, the fungicide was sprayed in corn.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is, hybrid or variety is the same in all fields?
Yeah, so the hybrid that was used in that fungicide trial was the same across the field.
And how about the yield in fungicide comparison?
Yeah, so the actual yield from that fungicide comparison is not available yet.
Okay. And another question which is coming now is, so in images using the color scale to represent data, is the scale consistent in images taken in early season as images taken later in the season? Is it consistent only for the field or amongst all fields? To clarify, does the shade of red in the early season image represent the same quantifiable data point as in the late season image? So this is maybe the question to your images, the Charlie. But I think that is let me just maybe software wise, so you can actually keep the color map the consistent throughout the season to evaluate the progress of the field. If you like to change it to make it more visible or high contrasted to observe the variety more drastically, you can change that too. So the software wise, you can do the both way.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, it gives you the NDVI score, so what the number is, and point is from 0 to 1, and the color scale enables you during the season to adjust it so you can see the differences in there.
Yep. Thank you very much. And another question maybe for you, Charlie, is how do you compare fungicide and say that one is better than other with you do not the yield, or what treatment works better than other?
You can do the comparison. So in that case, on that one, I don't have the yield results from that particular comparison yet, but it depends, okay, if you're taking that trial through to yield or not. But you can do that and then, okay, compare what the performance of the fungicide in terms of the disease control and visual stay green is, and NDVI score, and stack that with your yield. But the main benefit is to give you another visual aid to show the performance of that fungicide for disease control and plant health.
Yeah, okay, thank you. And the next question is, can sisal stand counting be used for rapeseed or winter wheat? So this one we haven't tested yet. So basic principle is in the rows and it's separated, it should work depending on the altitude configuration based on the size of the emergence. And can the camera be used in the DJI Mavic Pro? This one, this doesn't work with the DJI Mavic Pro. At this moment, we have drone integrator partners or mounting bracket partners working on developing some of the brackets for other type of the drones. So they might release some of the brackets for the Mavic series, but I don't have the information or confirmation for that information yet. And the next question is so the image are created and rendered within Sony and imported into the Syngenta farm shots. Yes. So the image are created in the Sony fast field analyzer softwares, and then the uploads and imported back to the Sony, the Syngenta's farm shots. So that's the operations. Do you know if exists correlation between stay green and fungicide control? I thought the stay green was a genetic component. Do you have any comments on, Charlie?
No, I mean, yeah, so I'm not in the position to answer that technically. So stay green, I think in terms of, probably I said the very wrong term earlier, but I think in terms of keeping that plant healthy, that correlation there between fungicides.
Got you. And the next question is, can spider mite damage be detected in corn crops using special imager before being detected by the naked eyes? So I think the NDVI maybe is not really enough to detect the spider mite damage being detected earlier than this naked eyes. So it's more for how to identify the areas where the damage is observed. And the next question is, do you plan to develop gimbal for Sony multi-spectral cameras? So this is more for our drone integration partners or drone bracket partners. I don't have any information for this from them. So, okay, next question. What is going to be the next product launch from Sony agriculture sectors? This one or it's roadmap information, so we are not disclosing this in public. Okay. So thank you very much for lots of questions. So maybe we have just a couple of minutes to close the session. Now it's going to be 3 o'clock. So if you have any maybe last questions, then we can answer this. Is it possible to upload the stand map into farm shots? Yes, so this one is we are working on between the Syngentas and Sony to integrate this part. Yeah. And okay, so and the comments is thanks guys. Looking forward to talking to someone within Syngenta. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so I think time is now coming. So thank you very much for everybody joining this session. I think the 2000 season is coming soon, and then we are prepared to talk to you to follow up projects together with Syngentas. So the Sony and Syngenta working closely. The technologies and agronomy side, and we'd like to support you the 2020 season. So if you have any follow-up, I'd like to follow up conversation, please contact to me, and then we will follow up individually. Okay, so thank you very much again, and thank you, Charlie, for the presentation. Do you have any words?
Thank you very much, you.
Okay, all right. So let's close the session. Thank you very much, and we will upload the archives later. Thank you.